Hi everyone, it's Bren here. Welcome back to my channel. And today what I thought we could do is have a look around the garden and check out what's growing in the raised garden beds. I'm talking more specifically about the edible crops that I have here at the moment. Those cold hardy annuals that really love the cooler weather. I also want to show you the new no-dig garden bed which I started this week. It's actually down here where I am at the moment at the very back of our garden, and as well as that we'll take a look at some seedlings which I purchased this week that were very heavily discounted. I feel like I got a decent bargain with them. So please just sit back, relax for a few minutes and let's get into it now. There's a few exciting things going on over here in the raised garden bed area. It's still quite muddy in this part of the garden. I can hear the squelching underneath my shoes and I have to be really careful, otherwise I could go flying in the sky. There's radish and beetroot seedlings popping up all over here. And of course I have to protect them with these little wire meshes from the chickens. Speaking of the girls, look at them, they're so cute. Here's Autumn helping me out eating some of the grass. They're really distracting me. I've come well away from those raised beds now, following them around, but I will go back over there in a minute and show you what I'm growing. Since we're over in this little spot, which is actually underneath our apple tree, or one of our apple trees, which the girls love hanging out here in this spot. I think there must be lots of grubs or something because they're always digging and rooting around in this spot. Anyway, why I'm here, another reason why I'm here is to show you something I discovered. You know, there are advantages to letting a place, you know, overgrow a bit. I don't know, maybe that's my excuse. I have now got this lovely large foxglove plant that I reckon if I had cleaned out this area, it may not have germinated and not grown to this size over winter. So I think this is my sign now to get weeding, especially with some of these noxious weeds that if I don't pull them out and they go to seed, they just really spread. I'm actually not quite sure of the name of this one, but it's absolute little terror. I'm now back over at the bed, and what I'll do is I'll pop the name up of everything I've got growing in here, all the seeds I sowed a few weeks back. But one thing I wanted to take a closer look at are these beautiful little violas and pansies. I'm particularly fond of this one. They are so incredibly pretty, aren't they? I also have a update here on the carrot bed, which, like the other seedlings I've just shown you, they have also started to come up. You can see that I have them in rows here, marked out by some of that propagation sand, and I'm pretty happy with how well they have germinated. You can see I was a little bit heavy-handed with the seeds, so it will require a good bit of thinning out once they get a bit larger. Then as far as everything else growing in here, I mean, there's not much growth above ground, but I'm hoping during these winter weeks the root system underneath will be developing. Like here I have a bunch of beautiful stock, there's some pansies, and then these are all spring onions. This is my onion bed. Over here I have comfrey, which I still haven't cut back. I really need to cut that back and make some more tea. And then I've also sown some pea seeds, sweet pea seeds in that bed and across the way. And in here actually I planted a few different varieties of mint because one of my children absolutely loves mint. This one's berries and cream. Then in here we have some beautiful fennel. You can see the bulbous part is starting to fill out nicely. I could probably even harvest that if I wanted to at this stage, but I'm going to leave them till they get a bit bigger. Then I've got more carrots. In here I have some primulas. There's some sad looking kale. Something's been eating it. And then here are loads of beetroot. This is a mystery Asian green, not sure what it is, but I've been harvesting the leaves. Over here are snapdragons, pansies, foxgloves. I have some broccoli and cauliflower, cornflowers. Do you remember a few weeks back I showed you 3 massive piles like this one here of green waste, which mostly consists of perennial and annual plants which I cut back over winter, as well as any grass clippings, etc. Well, I've actually put one of them to good use and I have big plans for the other 2, but let me show you what I did with one of them. I used some of them over here to make this new no-dig garden bed. So you can see there, this is only one pile that I've mounted out here in this section, and I have 2 more to play around with, which is very exciting. But what I've done here is I firstly put down a layer of cardboard. It's just there, and then next the layer I put on after that is underneath. You can't really see, I should have recorded this to show you as I was going, but there's loads of old branches that I had from some of the trees and larger shrubs in the garden. I put down a layer of those twigs and branches, and then I put the green waste over here on top. I'm planning on putting on some straw and then some compost. And the reason why I did it here in particular rather than just putting, you know, compost straight on the ground is because I really want to elevate this area. And I had mentioned that I was going to put in some raised beds, those ones like the same as here, but I decided I'll just do it this way. It's a lot cheaper, and you know, I love saving the pennies when it comes to gardening. So I'm hoping by elevating this area it will help the plants grow much better than it did last summer, because this is the section that when it was raining it got really boggy, lots of water, and a lot of my plants died. So hopefully this will work for the season coming. I've got some really lush healthy foliage growing here on these celery plants. A few years back I think I planted maybe 6 or 7 of them, which was way too much, so in here I have 3, which is plenty for my family, and look how well they are growing. And right beside them I have some elephant garlic as well, looking healthy too, and you can see it's really starting to thicken up down here. I'm hoping in a few months time to get a really nice harvest. In the bed beside them I have some beetroot. This one is looking pretty nice. I'll be able to harvest that one soon, as is this one over here, which looks like a golden Detroit. There is so much Misuna. It is loving this cooler weather, as is all of the rainbow chard. Look at these. Some little Johnny jump ups have self-seeded in this spot too. I think this is the prettiest looking chard I have ever grown. It's called Candy Stripe, and the colours on it are just stunning. Look at that. I had a free little spot beside the chard, so I popped in a couple of these rocket seedlings, yellow chard, and some beautiful curly kale. This one's doing much better than that other one I showed you. Another pretty kale called Blue Scott. This plant is called a purple sprouting broccoli. I don't know, my brassicas don't seem to be doing as well this winter for some reason. But you know, I'll just wait until it starts to warm up and I'm sure they will start to produce some nice shoots that we'll be able to eat. There's this section of the garden where I have so much self-seeded parsley. I mean, it's all over the place, and I'm just going to let it grow because, you know, I love parsley, this flat leaf parsley. Great to make tabbouleh with. I bought a few discounted seedlings this week. They're all flowers, so I've got 4 punnets of these stock, which were reduced to $2. Not bad considering they were $8.99. Here are some lobelias, which are lovely little blue annual flowers. And finally some cornflowers, or they're also known as billy buttons. Quite a lot in there in that pack. $2, not bad. They used to be $5.99. I think I did pretty well. So everything in here was $12 in total, and I got lots of lovely cold hardy annuals. Well, that's about it for this week, everyone. I was hoping in this video to go through a list of the different varieties of tomatoes, eggplants, chilies and capsicums that I am planning on growing this spring, summer. but I just haven't finalized what varieties and how many of each I will be growing. So I think that's something I need to work on over the next 7 days. So hopefully by next Friday I'll have my final list done and I'll be able to share that with you. I guess that's all I've got to say for this week. So until next Friday, I hope you have a wonderful 7 days ahead and happy gardening.